Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Leanne Sanders. A 23-year-old Lloydminster man is facing a number of charges, including attempted murder, following an incident at an apartment complex Sunday. Emergency crews were called to the scene and found a woman with life-threatening injuries. She had to be airlifted by Stars Air Ambulance to Saskatoon. RCMP quickly located a suspect, but he refused to leave the apartment, and the standoff continued for about 4 hours until he finally surrendered. Police have charged Seth Johnson LaRose with several criminal code offenses, including attempted murder, aggravated assault, and forcible confinement. He was remanded in custody and will return to court next week. 6 community groups received grant funding from the City of Cold Lake at the last council meeting. A total of $49,700 was awarded through the Community Recreation, Art, Culture and Heritage Investment Grant and the Community Capital Grants. We sat down with the mayor to find out more.
I'm speaking with the mayor of Cold Lake, Craig Copeland. Craig, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We're talking about some grants that the city has handed out. Now, I know this is not an unusual thing. Grants are pretty normal, but you've given out some good-sized ones here recently. Which groups are getting them?
Yeah, so how it all works is they first get sort of vetted by our community group, and then they bring it to council for some recommendations. But some of them had already happened, but certainly the provincial Jaguar hockey team under 15 just had the provincial tournament in Cold Lake, so we gave some money to sort of offset the cost of renting the ice. So 4,600 for that. Pirouette School of Dance is putting on a big, huge recital, so we gave them 1,500. Basically, what that'll do is pay for the facility for that day. Age Friendly Cold Lake, which is quite a group, good little society. They're a nonprofit, and we're helping with sort of a chairlift or a man lift up to the second level in their building. They get a lot of people in there, and some of them just can't make it up the stairs. So that lift will help. 13,000 over 13,000 for that. The Cold Lake Snowmobile Club, which is a group that does this. Well, this winter was really tough because there was hardly any snow, but they do all the trails, groom the trails in our region, and so they need a new machine for doing the trails, and so we gave them over 15,000 for that. And then Nelson Heights School and Parents Advisory Committee is taking an old playground that was in storage, and they're putting it over at their school, and that'll be a big cost to do. Playgrounds are huge money nowadays, so we put 10,000 towards that. And then the Cold Lake Fish and Game Association, they're looking at another access road into their site, and so we gave them some money to do a little bit of feasibility study on that to make it a much more safer rifle range to work out of.
So a lot of recreation type things getting some funding, which is nice to see for the community. Obviously, it's the amenities in a city that make people want to live there.
Yeah, absolutely. Nonprofits, you really want to give a helping hand to them. I mean, it's not a ton of money, but they don't, ever since United Way kind of closed their doors here in our area in Cold Lake, it's been difficult for all of the nonprofits and user groups to sort of access money. If it's not going to be municipal, can they get it from the province or the feds? So it's a real challenge out there. And that's why you see a lot of businesses, industry stepping up to plate to sort of give these groups a helping hand if they can.
Now, there was another announcement today, I understand, out of Cold Lake with regard to some funding being given out. Can you tell me about that one?
Yes, so this was a group from the Catholic Cemetery group. So they have 2 cemeteries, and so they've been working with us for a while, and they're all not volunteers. They donate a ton of time to maintain the 2 Catholic cemeteries, one in the north, one in the south. And so we gave them a helping hand of $70,000 towards. They're running out of space, and so it's in order to put people into the cemetery, they're going to have to do some major enhancements. They're going to do a lot of donated time, and so we're going to help them through the construction phase of it and give them this money towards some of the concrete work that has to be established in order to put the plots in. So by no means is it the money that they need, but at least it's a helping hand and it gives them a position to go forward now for the next 10 years.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Craig, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about the grants, and good luck to the community groups that are receiving them.
Thank you for having me.
Callum Hawker joins me now with the weather. And Callum, I'm just wondering, with this cold, are we going to be able to shake it off?
Yes, I think so. Finally, honestly, because the past few days here in Lloydminster really haven't been all too nice, especially, last week was super good temperatures. And, throughout the day was really kind of hovering over that 0 degree mark. A lot of clouds coming in throughout the day. The winds were very present all day long as well. But as you can see, 0 degrees currently here in the border city. And then, with the winds, like I said, making it feel more like that -6 mark. So, it will get a little warmer coming up in the next couple days, even as early as tomorrow. But, still going to have to fight through this unspring-like conditions currently today. And then as we look across Alberta and Saskatchewan, both of these provinces are kind of experiencing the same cold spell. So Bonnyville up at that 3 degree mark, St. Paul down at 2, Vegreville and Edmonton at 3 as well, Vermilion at 2, and Wainwright at 1, same with Provost. And as we look on the Saskatchewan side here, Pearceland is also at 2 degrees, St. Walburg at that 0 degree mark, Meadow Lake in the negatives at -1, Green Lake and Isle Lacrosse both at 0, Maidstone and Macklin both at 0 as well, and North Battleford a little cooler over there at that -2 mark. And as we look at North Battleford tonight, a low of -6. Snow will still be coming into North Battleford, but there should be little to no accumulation, so maybe just a light flurry tonight there. And then as we look at tomorrow's forecast there, so yeah, similar to Lloydminster, it will warm up coming into Friday, a high of 4. Not the temperatures we really want to see, but at least it's going in a positive direction. And then we look at Cold Lake tonight, a little cooler here, low of -8, will be clear, however. So, not as cloudy as Lloyd or North Battleford, but, still pretty cold temperatures out in Cold Lake. And then tomorrow, high of 9, plenty of sunshine, a great day there, not too windy as well with only 11-kilometer-an-hour winds, so good day tomorrow in Cold Lake. And then tonight in Lloydminster, still going to be cold, a low of -7. We should see things kind of change going into tomorrow, but another cold one here tonight in Lloydminster. And then as we do look at tomorrow, so the morning will still be a little chilly at that -7 mark. Will warm up at noon. It'll be 2 degrees with some sun peeking out throughout the day. 6 p.m. will be very sunny at that 6 degree will be the high. And then going overnight, it'll drop down into the negatives at that -3 mark. And then as we look into the 3-day forecast here, Friday not as cold, high of 6, low of -5. Saturday very sunny as well, a high of 12 and a low of -2. And then Sunday getting even better, 13 will be the high and a low of -1. That's all for our first look at the weather forecast. We'll have some more news with Leanne after the break.
Alberta Open Farm Days is an opportunity for people across Alberta to visit farms and discover the rural way of life. It happens this August from the 17th to the 18th. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Tim Carson, the CEO of the Alberta Association of Agricultural Societies, and he is here today to talk about Alberta Open Farm Days. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Tim.
It's my pleasure.
And so for those who are unaware, what is Alberta Open Farm Days, Tim?
So will be the 13th year of Alberta Open Farm Days, and Open Farm Days is a unique opportunity for citizens across Alberta to actually go and visit the farm, meet the producers, find out where their food comes from, and all of the wonderful things that happen across this great province as far as agriculture is concerned. Not to mention, it is a tremendous agritourism event. We have so many great agritourism operators and so many great things to see, do, and experience across rural Alberta. This is just a great opportunity to deal with that.
And what were some of the main reasons that you and the Alberta Association of Agriculture Societies wanted to start up Alberta Open Farm Days 13 years ago?
It's interesting because in today's world, we are as Albertans, sometimes 3, 4, or even 5 generations away from our agricultural roots, or digging potatoes in grandma's farm. garden type of thing. And we recognized quite some time ago with our partners that there was a need for consumers to really have a better understanding of where their food comes from and what the diversity of this great agriculture industry is here in Alberta. We are blessed with this geographical area that allows us to actually produce more food than we can consume. And it is truly some of the best in the world. And our agriculture industry does need a spotlight shone on it. The other side of that was around rural economic development and the ability to assist, if you will, agritourism operators and entrepreneurs who are interested in, starting or enhancing a tourism business in rural areas. This was a really allowed them some, like I said, some assistance, some enhancements, and the program itself has evolved from simply an event weekend to actually a full program that includes education, training, support services, and all of those types of things as an incubator, if you will, for those agritourism businesses.
And Tim, what is the theme for this year's Alberta Open Farm Days, and when is it going to be taking place?
So Open Farm Days this year will be August 17th and 18th. It's the third weekend in August each year. And recently we have begun to start to shine a bit of a spotlight on a particular area of agriculture. And this year is the year of alpaca. Last year we had the year of the bison. Prior to that was on honey. But alpaca, again, it allows us just a moment in time to actually shine a bit of a spotlight on the diversity that is in agriculture. We are very aware and fully support, the beef industry, the dairy industry, the poultry industry, the grains and pulses, and all of the pieces of agriculture. But understanding what happens here in Alberta beyond the traditional side of things. So the fiber industry is actually a growing industry here and includes, goat's wool and sheep's wool as well as hemp. And this alpaca piece is a great testament to that. Quite frankly, we have 40% of the entire Canadian herd is here in Alberta, and then there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 240 alpaca farms here. So that's just really interesting to us. And again, it just allows us to take a bit of that diversity and shine a bit of a spotlight.
And if a producer is interested in being a part of Alberta Open Farm Days this year, when is the deadline for applying, and where can they go to get more information?
Host farms themselves have until the end of April here to register and come on board. If you are even considering the opportunity of being part of the Open Farm Days program, there is a lot of resources to help you take it from where you believe you are to the next place and really provide a level of experience for those people who are coming out to visit your farm and allowing you to tell your story about your corner of agriculture.
Thank you so much for all the information, Tim, and we look forward to yet another great year of Alberta Open Farm Days.
You bet. We'll look forward to seeing you on albertaopenfarmdays.ca.
Now here are your agriculture prices for today. Golf is a popular sport here in Lloydminster, and while a lot of people are quite new to the game, our Callum Hawker met with a local professional for this week's edition of Golf Tips.
Welcome to Golf Tips, a weekly segment where I'll be out with Marty Wheaton, the head golf professional at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Club. Usually we'd be outside on the course. Today it is very cold and very windy, so we'll be in Marty's simulator. So I'm excited, and yeah, let's check it out. Marty, great meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Sweet. First off, what a setup here. Unbelievable. You know, I'm sure a lot of people coming over in the winter times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of entertaining in here, and it's been good throughout the winter.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your golf experience.
Yeah, so I've been at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center. This is my 10th year there as a head golf professional. Grew up playing junior golf at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center, so it's home for me. Lots of loyal customers. really active golf community in Lloydminster, and looking forward to the start of the year.
I know I've seen a lot of people on the range already whenever I go out
Yep.
there. People are getting excited. And so first off, the first episode we're going to be talking about is hitting your driver. I know I struggle with that the most, and a lot of golfers do. What are maybe 3 swing tips that you go into each time you're on the tee to hit a good drive?
Yeah, definitely one of the things I get asked the most is about driver, and I think 2 of them would be more so the setup and how we address the golf ball. So the ball position being forward in your stance, kind of off the inside of your front foot would be one of them. Angling our shoulders so that we're getting in a position to launch the golf ball. And then one tip that I would say while we're hitting the golf ball is we're driving upwards. We're always hitting up on the golf ball. That's what's going to reduce the spin, give you the maximum amount of distance. And a lot of the errors that I see are from ball position and kind of a downward angle of attack.
So let's get right into it. You have an unbelievable setup. I'm stoked to try this out. Yeah, let's see your driver here.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, let's get into it.
So like we talked about, kind of a couple things in our setup that we want to make sure that we're double checking is first thing is our ball position. We're going to have that ball in line with the inside of our front foot. If you can picture this club, it's naturally going to bottom out where our center is, and then it's going to start to rise up, and that's the key. We want to hit it on the upswing. To help us do that, we're going to angle our shoulders to kind of promote that upward swing. When we have our ball position correct, our shoulders angled, just go ahead and try to hit up on the golf ball.
What a swing.
Hit up on that one good. Hit up on that one good.
And while Marty hit one of the nicest drives I've ever seen in my life, it was time for my turn, where I completely hit it off the toe, straight right into the rocks. Yeah, that wasn't pretty, but luckily for myself, Marty will be by my side every week over the summer, where we'll be hitting all types of clubs, hopefully growing both my game and yours. Catch us next week for another episode of Golf Tips.
As the post-secondary school year comes to a close, many student athletes are preparing for next season, but some are preparing for life after athletics. Our Ben Lowan had a chance to talk to Lakeland students about what's next after soccer.
I'm here today with Haley Fernandez, a member of the Lakeland women's soccer program, to talk about the team and what's coming next for her. Haley, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today.
Yeah, of course.
So Haley, what was it like to be part of the Lakeland women's soccer program?
The Lakeland women's soccer team is it's formed its own little family. The whole team is pretty much from Saskatoon, and we all grew up playing with each other anyways. So coming here is just watching everybody grow as a player, as a person, has just been, I don't know the word I'm looking for. I guess it's special. That's the word. Playing with them through elementary school and then high school and then junior Huskies. Now playing with them in college and post-secondary, it's really heartwarming playing with the same group of girls, and just knowing that they know you at your worst, they've seen you at your best, you've been through everything together. It's really like a little family here.
And Haley, what were some of your highlights while being here at Lakeland?
Meeting new people, like here living on campus, live with our team. We're with our team 24/7, practices, games, everything. So reaching out, being a part of the college's community, meeting people who are on, say, different sports team, meeting people who aren't even on teams, who just choose to be Lakeland because of the programs, creating those bonds. Lakeland offers so many different support systems from your own team, your own coaches, but then hearing other athletes in their interviews and their experience here, seeing what they went through, how they've gone through it. It's been really inspiring for me on how I can do it for myself, and then how I can help other student athletes, such as like our rookies, our first years, helping them, giving them advice on how they can perform and what can make their year at Lakeland better.
And what are you going to miss most about Lakeland?
No one here is from one place. Everyone from everywhere in the world is at Lakeland. And it's just, you learn so much about everyone's culture and the city.
And finally, can you give us a little insight into what's next on your journey?
It's very sad. It is very sad. I've been at Lakeland for 2 years, graduated with my diploma this year. But like I said, I've been with these girls my whole soccer career. So next year is gonna be really different without them by my side. Hopefully I'll be playing against them next year, which is definitely gonna be different, but I'm actually really sad to be leaving Lakeland. I've had my own experiences here. I've had highs, I have had lows. It's really sad leaving all these people. Even though we're all from Saskatoon, still gonna see them in the summer again, but it's not the same as actually living with them, playing with them in the ACAC. It's hard to leave this behind.
Haley, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Now, time to take a look at all of the pet pictures you've been sharing with us for our Pets of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Today I'm joined by Randy Marsh with the Lloydminster Motor Club. And thank you so much for being here today. To start, I'd like to hear what the Lloydminster Motor Club is for those unaware.
It actually started out 10 years ago now, actually. We're 10 years old this year. And it was just an idea between me and a couple of my friends, somewhere where you could get a bunch of like-minded motorheads together, not really focusing on one kind of aspect of the automotive industry, but every aspect really. And then it started to grow into, well, hey, we've got people, so why don't we help with this if we can? And why don't we help raise money for this if we can? And it slowly just kind of evolved into we call it the community car club, because we very strong in our opinion of giving back to the community as much as we possibly can. So and through car shows and fundraiser events and stuff like that. So yeah, we're a community car club, I would say.
You guys have been hosting a lot of community events, including the Saturday Night Idler. Can you talk to me about what that is?
The Saturday Night Idler is just it's our weekly meetup, obviously weather permitting, but guys just come out, hang out, show off their cars, check out some other vehicles and stuff like that. We had our first one last Saturday. We got another one coming up this Saturday as well. And it was really nice. We had a lot of older trucks out, and you'll find a bunch of, like, a wide variety of stuff, really. There's guys that are dedicating their vehicles to sound system setups. And then there's guys like me that got right-hand drives and stuff like that. So you'll always find just a little bit of everything. There's no consistency. It's everything.
The Motor Club also has a bit of a scavenger hunt going on right now. Can you talk to me about that?
The scavenger hunt was actually set up by a couple of the other volunteers for the Motor Club. This one was actually set up by Carol Ann. And so what it is you're trying to find the admin volunteers' vehicles. We're also looking at involving local businesses too as well, if they want to get involved with it. And there's a point bracket system, and the more points you get, whoever gets the most points at the end of the season is actually going to win a prize. We're still trying to determine what that prize is going to be, but yeah. So I think right now people are trying to find my vehicle. Nobody's submitted a picture yet. There are some rules that you have to wait a week, and then if you see my car at work, then you can submit it. Yeah, we're just looking for, you got to kind of decrypt the code, figure out what vehicle you're looking for, find that vehicle, send in the picture, then you get the points. And again, whoever has the most points at the end of the season wins the prize.
Lastly, you guys have a big barbecue fundraiser coming up on April 27th. Can you talk to me about what you guys are fundraising for?
This is actually going to be done at PV Mart, and they approached us and said, hey, do you want to help us out with this? And we're always on board to help out charities. And so what we decided to do is there's actually a new pet organization rescue in town called A Pet's Purpose. And we figure since they're new, it'd be best to kind of help them out as best as we can through the best way that we know how. So yeah, that's going to be going from over the lunchtime period on at PV Mart there. And we're going to be having like a little come and go car show as well. We're going to actually be doing a few come and go car shows this year. And so what come and go car show is too as well is you pull up, park your car, pop the hood, have your lunch, chill out for a bit, and then you can just take off whenever you want. But yeah, we're hoping to help out a Pet's Purpose with that one quite a bit. And like I said, new organization, so help them out if we can.
Was there any last things that you'd like to add?
You can find us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram. We've got our website up and going. We've got 6 events scheduled so far this year. Our opener is going to be on May the 26th, and our closer is going to be September the 22nd. Our closer on the 22nd of September. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. We're trying to make this one the biggest one yet. But yeah, we're hoping to do a lot this year, raise a lot of money for local charities as best as we can. And yeah, just having fun doing it.
Well, that covered all of the questions that I had. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Gerald Miller always has the passion to collect any artifacts he finds it interesting and filled with history. He rented a place in Lloyd Mall to make a small museum to showcase his exhibit. And with the era of social media, he wants to expand his reach through YouTube, and this time with the help of his grandson, Brody Miller.
So what we've done is Miller Promotions is switching from Miller Promotions to the Heritage Learning Center. And that kind of explains what our collection's about and the building would be. So the Heritage Learning Center, we're going to start doing that right here in the studio. And that's going to come about here probably when school starts. We'll gear up for it so that when school comes back on ground, we'll have enough, we'll be filming it and then releasing it later on. And Brody's been doing that now for what, since you're 11, 12 years old?
4 years.
4 or 5 years. So he's got quite a few videos that we can. And I think the editing part of it too, it's all apps. What were you doing?
Placing hockey cards on the table of McDavid's teammates.
15-year-old Brody started collecting sports memorabilia at a very young age. His collection ranges between 900 to 1,000 cards. He is also the one who pitched the idea to make a YouTube channel and showcase their collection on the internet.
Are you the one who pitched to your grandfather to create this type of YouTube channel?
Pretty much, I do. I'd have to say yes.
Yeah, it's not difficult. Like if you're not, like if you find something that is entertaining, it's not difficult to grow.
And with the amount of collection he has in the studio, there's definitely a lot of material to cover. Of course, nothing lasts long, and retirement is inevitable. And for some future generation, might lose the interest that their grandparents started. But Gerald Miller isn't worried about this.
Yeah, like Brody said, like he's got, he's been collecting sports memorabilia and Wayne Gretzky and Connor McDavid and the Boston cards here, and there's all kinds of different things. I mean, out of the collection we have, sports memorabilia-wise, it's huge.
Even though they currently don't have permanent place to showcase their exhibits, Gerald Miller is determined to share his collection because of his passion to educate people about history motivates him. Leo Cruzat, Primetime Local News.
NASA has confirmed details of a new mission that will see a drone the size of a small car go to Saturn's largest moon in search of signs of life. The Dragonfly mission was originally chosen in 2019, but it had run into numerous setbacks. financial restrictions, design refinements, and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic force strategy changes. The finished drone will carry a total cost of around $3.35 billion, roughly twice as much as expected. Well, Callan, I don't know. Do you think it's colder there than here?
You know, even though it's been very cold here, definitely a lot warmer than what it would be on Saturn. You know, it's definitely not a great day tomorrow. We'll be at 6, but as you can see, throughout the weekend and next week, it'll be a lot warmer.
I'm sure it will. I'm looking forward to that too. Well, that is all we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night.